I moved into the house 2 weeks ago, driveway, cracked oak tree in front yard, leaves rattling when wind whispers. I told myself this place would be safe, quiet, cheap. Rent. While I sort out life after separation, after loss, I live alone at night. I wake early for work, sober, routine, mundane. Until nothing makes sense, I installed a new smoke detector in the kitchen hallway. Above ceiling tile, white plastic circular device, brand new seal, battery fresh. Test beep, everything normal, but at night things. Changed the first time I heard it was midnight flicker of LED light inside smoke detector. No warning smoke, no cooking steam. I stared up at ceiling, blinking, heart slowed as I strained to see inside the vent holes, and something moved, a tiny black shape pressed against interior lens fast. But I thought memory trick, so I blinked again. Nothing returned. Blinking light paced steady, but shadow lingered enough to tighten chest. I used phone light, held it beneath. Device looked up, metal grate, diffuse glow. Nothing obvious. The next morning, I took detector down, cleaned sensor vents, feeling foolish. I tested battery wires, every contact tight, no residue solder. Looked fresh. I mounted it back up and taped over track. I made video. Record with phone, filming ceiling detector overnight, and playback around 1:37 a.m. There was a momentary flicker in the frame, one frame of dark blur moving inside device. Then silence, no sound, no beat, video grainy, but enough to trigger spike and pulse. I deleted it, trembling over following nights. I slept light, jittered at every background hum, AC kick fan turning, and every time the detector LED flicked or static crackle. Sounded inside its housing. I heard soft tap, like fingernail on plastic. I said. Recorder app beside coffee cup, under ceiling shadows, sound file later played, muffled click followed by inhale and soft scratch. I held straw recorder under device. Next morning, retrieved micro SD card, clone file, waveform jump around 1:42 a.m. Faint breathing noise spike, overshoot, static. My heart slammed. I couldn't go back. I unplugged straw. I threw recorder in closet. I avoided kitchen at night, using phone light to navigate living room. Once saw shadow move across ceiling corner near detector shape. Curved, small, childlike silhouette, crouched just beyond grain of ceiling texture, two low-resolution brain stage shadows. But I froze until it vanished. I turned off breaker to ceiling circuit, fearing voltage. Glitch, but detector still flickered in dark corridor, hallway light off, yet LED flicker happened again at 3 a.m. twice, and then tap, tap, tap inside plastic cover like rhythm, matching heart thumps, 62 BPM. I counted. I had electrician friend named Sam. Come check wiring. He said house old wiring, grounding, poor code. But detector tested fine, new seal design, battery brand, trust brand. He swapped one unit, same behavior next night. Still flicker, still tap. I set up bullet camera in hallway facing detector. Left night vision on poignant angle, recorded at 1080p sample, overlay time code and battery status on screen, 4:29 a.m. last night. I woke to camera beat memory, full error remote ping. I rushed to review SD card clip, starts black, then light, then static, then one long frame where shadow presses outward inside mesh cage of detector, then immediate power cut, and timestamp jump overwritten to 1901 January. First unreachable file corrupted. I preserved raw file image, but recovery tool fails, molded sector blank. No metadata, only residue. Image fragments show grainy circular blur, low detail, but unmistakably press of face or rounded head watching. I felt nausea, handset fell. I left camera running again this morning at breakfast next day. I found kitchen tabletop littered with tiny black specks about size of pepper flakes, soot residue crumb like charcoal clusters. I touched them and fingers left smeared black powder. I dusted under Detector and more specks rained down as if disturbed nest inside glue residue, topping Detector base. I opened crimped cover, removed device, cautiously black fine, dust drifted cloud over countertop and inside battery slot I found. Faint fingerprint outline greasy, smudged across plastic. Near contact, terminal grounding plates shaped like small toddler hand palm ridges barely visible. In ash smear, I stepped back, heart racing, pill drops in a sink. I reassembled unit gloves taped intact and remounted, then flushed memory logs dread across skin. I can't sleep tonight. I hear static inside walls and soft glow from LED pulsing irregular like a signal. And sometimes I feel breath on my forehead. When I climb stairs beneath it, I keep telling myself it's imagination wiring interference. But rational mind fractures under repeated anomalies, grain data, jump, reverse timestamp, unnatural disembodied silhouette, inside smoke detector, insist, reason beyond science. I wrote times in journal. Log 137, 142, 303, then circled times and wrote tap, inhale, flicker, each night, same window, 3 nights, in row, cumulative pattern, maybe entity aligns inside LED, blink interval, internal clock, echo inside Detector, psyche, echo inside me tonight. I will sleep with camera. They record every second sleep. Apps monitor heart breathing gestures until dawn or until something moves inside plastic cover again. Until visible silhouette press again, until text message appears next morning saying find me whisper. Inside reflection, I've stopped trusting darkness. The smoke detector sits above the hallway near bedroom door, and every time I walk beneath it at dusk, I feel a flicker in my chest like static electricity or echo of breath. I wake between 3:03 and 3:13 a.m. every night now, expecting the tap or flicker before it comes. I've started logging times in increments of seconds. 1:37 a.m., then 1:42, then 3:03. The pattern grows. Each night the taps come in groups, matching pulse. 2 taps inhale, 1 slow tap longer. Pause like synchronized breathing. I had tried issuing voice commands in an audio recorder, asking show yourself, speak, tell me your name. Only silence, then the LED flickers faster, and twice I swear shape inside tilted. Head toward camera lens, my anxiety bleeds day and a night. I touch walls near Detector and feel warmth lingering like skin imprint. One morning, I found writing on wall above hallway, sketched faint in soot. Pressed not bold, not carved, but smudged fine black lines that washed away half when I touched them, but reappeared hours later darker. I traced fingertip over letters, took photo, but next morning camera cache lost file replaced by blank image. I stopped eating in kitchen at night. I sleep in living. Room couch under heavy blanket bag overhead to block sound, but I hear tapping above ear, then breath slowly turning into soft whisper. Find me. After 3 nights of that whisper, I snapped and set up third camera inside device itself, removed housing, mounted tiny microcam inside smoke detector, viewing internal cavity, download footage, morning revealed 4 loops at 3:13 a.m. each 0. 3-second blur pulse of shape pressing outward metal grate, then taps inside plastic, then power short, then reverse timestamp glitch again. I reverse video, slowed frame by frame. There's at least 4 frames within the grate where shape looks like small torso head tilted toward floor. Its silhouette looks crouched, limbs folded too small to match adult proportions. I took it to Sam Electrician. He looked at footage silently, then said something I couldn't accept. Something not human fits inside that. Detector, he pointed, new image. Fine crack across plastic cover, invisible before carved by small fingernail. Inside, he pressed finger, and cover shattered, leaving crack inside. Hallway light, illuminated shard pattern, like keyhole shape. That night tap came again at 3:13 a.m., followed by crash above, and ceiling, sound of plastic, splitting like glass, rain shattered over floor. I ran in a hallway, splinters, and dust everywhere. Detector, cover shredded on floor, battery, gone, cover plated black and core sensor. Cage still intact, wires oddly connected, looked unexamined, but inside on top of cage, sitting was something small. Curve-shaped fragment that could be plastic chip or maybe fingernail-sized sliver. I scooped it, glove finger, dust, rose bitter. I put it in jar, sealed, shaking, breathing fast. I dialed Sam to come over, and he texted back, seeing this before last guy. Burnout smoke detector found same smudge, small nail shard vanished in a ceiling crawl space. Then fuses, blue panel burnt through wall. I asked what I found. What is it? He avoided answering that day. I installed backup alarm in bedroom, hooked to kitchen circuit, throughout rest of home, still showing. Flicker, seeing flicker LED in secondary. Units 2, even though not powered, yet only baseline test light flashes, flicking off, then pulses at random hours, always same, key times light bulb, over sync blackened interior. Even though new bulb, always intact, webs cracked inside, filament glow, weird shape from outside like silhouette pressed. I ordered thermal camera attachment for phone. I mounted it on ceiling facing detector LED. I checked heat signature last night, reading 313.0. 3 warm spot, interior plastic, then sudden cool blast, then dropout 2. Ambient after 1. 2 second, then reading returns gradual warmth over half-minute. Thermal profile looked reversed compared to human breath signature, something inside absorbing heat, then exhaling with cold pulse. I log pattern every day, same profile repeating 3 nights straight. Then night 5 pattern shifts, groups 2 warm pulses, then 1 long night cold signature, then tap sequence that night. I couldn't sleep in house anymore. I packed bag and slept in car parked in. Driveway windows rolled down, listening to static hum from house above at 3:13 a.m. I heard door of house open. I heard footsteps tread across plug tile near driveway. I ran inside, lights off, shadows long toward detector. Then I felt breath on neck behind me, and something exhaled inside me. I can't go back tonight. I haven't slept properly in 5 nights. My phone shows call logs, but no timestamps between 3 a.m. and 3:13 a.m. Files vanish or show placeholder 0 length. I keep finding binary graffiti on walls under detector tape, and crudely carved into ceiling tiles like crude letterings. Sill press, turn open, repeated over blotches of soot last night. I recorded ambient temperature under detector with thermal app, every minute interval recorded. Spiked exactly at 1:37, then again at 1:42, then at 3:03, and finally 3:13 a.m. Each sequence, same profile, warm to freezing, reverse inhalation signature, then solid noise inside lamp above me, click sound like latch. I started hearing other voices outside my head in corridor, soft to my left, faint voices repeating, turn open lock. They don't sync with my thoughts, they echo inside. Yet not mine. I whispered into recorder. Who are you? What do you want? Static crackle in reply. Faint laugh of child maybe, or toy. Squeak reversed. I couldn't bring myself to check ceiling panel anymore. Saw 2 hair-like fibers wedged between plastic mesh of detector, 1 white fine cotton, and 1 darker curled. Then gone next morning, only one remains dark, brittle, curling like ash tooth marks dented shell, where fiber held inside cage, perhaps slashed its way. And I visited local library at dawn, looked up product design of Detector model serial printed inside housing. Same brand safety recall, none match ghost reports, but found spec. Sheet notes, sensor voltage thresholds, buzz circuits under 9 volts, flicker ECG interference possible, where interference matches human pulse leads, echo back current burst. That phrase pulse led me to heart. Monitor, I place my phone on chest set heart app, running standby next night, breathing steady, yet graph readings flicker in sync with LED burst pattern, weird correlation bat registered full, then dip to 12% just before taps, then rise again as if battery drained from unseen draw, then recharge. The battery draw pattern matches internal test cycles every 26 minutes. Then after 3:13 a.m., one full battery dump. Then deadlock freeze, no reboot till sunrise. I clipped film from Detector housing and soot deposit on table, preserved bits under microscope. I measured soot granule shape, irregular oval particle size, 812 microns, similar to burned skin or organ tissue, not dust. I gagged. I cataloged it carefully in Ziploc jars labeled packet humidity sealed. Yet next day, sample vanished from drawer fridge. Same data logs show fridge open event at 3:12 a.m., then closed, then silent, but cooled else this morning. I woke in bathroom, floor phone, ringing in pocket, unknown number, voice garbled, reverse played. Series of tone patterns, each tone pitched. I recognize chords of nursery, rhyme reversed, and layered child sobbing underneath, then static ending click when I answered words clear, tell me to open, show me. Your face, I hung up, stomach turning in knots. I saw flash of silhouette in mirror above, sink long dark head shape, maybe reflection of shape inside Detector, not mine, lingered then vanished. When I blinked tears later visiting Sam at workshop, he showed me a micro inspection, rig pointed shadow microchip, like shape inside top vent chamber, black shape, fixed inside plastic backdrop inside Detector. He took cutter, he carved hole, cover removing clean. Piece metal and pulled sensor board packet intact. Revealed curving form embedded like small fetus size shape curled inside gap. No parent cable, no purpose wire, just shape pressed and coated with soot. Sent home sample wrapped sealed, no word, until he texted later message, single phrase, you are inside. He stopped returning calls after that text. Now, every time I climb stairs beneath Detector, I sense weight on grip handle, like weight of that shape pressing through floorboards above, leash of presence gripping me. Tight nails cold against spine a few. Hours ago, I wrote chilling phrase on wall beneath Detector, shaky letters. I saw it move next morning. It's changed to I am move, and darker, heavier soot strokes my visions at dusk. Now, sometimes show silhouette. Standing at edge of LED, glow watching me blink, then retracting into grid cavity inside. Cover my reflection in hallway mirror. Sometimes tints slightly darker shape behind me, faint smiling mouth, reversed invisible reflection only visible when LED flicker aligns with breathing rhythm. I went back to thrift store where I bought house key card near Detector installation. Among shelves I scanned receipts, found note tied card linen string. Message scrawled name of ghost story author in scribbled print. Henry Ainsworth, I looked him up, local podcast, small time, host ghost hunter. He disappeared in 2012 after story beat raid of burnt motel detection shape his last message. He said it lives inside meters and circuits, and it presses through ether and resets time codes. Curiosity put me on old forum post screenshots of board someone had recorded what looked like same flicker and tapping pattern from their bathroom Detector. Someone in Midwest house code prefix 313 area. Same times, they said 303 and 3. 13 coincide with frost period recall code for alarm panel firmware test routine designed to ping remote server, but reverse timestamp glitch 1901 reported when ghost presence claimed user my blood. Drains remembering connection 313 recall same as initial detection times pulse record battery freeze. Recall door number 313 code. They think entity rides the electrical grid in detectors and circuits, lives in time reset loops beneath code sequences when firmware pings remote server, but no reply draws phantom draw, current cooling signature, reverse inhale, expelled, and image loops glitch, then shape forms. Then latch sound inside device. I'm living in the data, now inside code. Zeros, ones inside glitch. I feel presence, twisting logic inside grasp of circuits. I cannot touch lines because fragrance is smoke and flesh mix burnt resin sweet sour memory. Echo inside plastic cage. In ceiling, I can't sleep again. I plan tomorrow to remove device whole house, shut down, unplug power circuit, maybe break wiring isolate, but fear it will just move in the next one. I don't know what it wants, I only know it's learning breathing inside detectors inside ceiling. Time loops inside my heartbeat tonight, I wait another. Cycle between 3:03 and 3:13 a.m., counting signal intervals and hoping it does not press again, because when it does I lose something else inside me. I have lost count of nights and waits and flickers, and the shape inside the detector has grown bolder. The flickers happen during waking hours too, under bright daylight. The LED pulses in erratic bursts, and I swear I see the silhouette in reflection before I look the camera has captured on monitors. Once high-resolution image, ghost-shaped inverted figure pressed flat behind vent grid of its own. Well, I began to suspect not just electrical glitch or spectral anomaly, but a tether between device firmware and flesh interface triggered when sensor cycles draw. Minimal current, then plunge, causing phantom image inside, reversed frame edge pixel inversion. I tried ripping the entire ceiling tile out the detector was mounted on, but it clung. I pried panel with screwdriver. It hung heavy as if anchored inside house structure like root, not just fixture ripping scraping, would overhead then silence, and then crack above ceiling laugh sound as someone walking slowly above boards overhead. I froze, hearing soft tapping right above where detector sat, pause, then faint. Scuff of shoe on joist. I ran in a hallway, looked up, light flickering, lead in unit still pulsed. Though tile removed, wires dangling, power bare. New cover missing, it still flickered static on camera. Grab camera off tripod, zoomed, close the image inside vent cage. Shows depth of corridor behind sensor, not wiring void, but empty shaft filled lowest to highest eyes of silhouette, hollow outline curled. Crouched, obvious torso arms, knees pressed into sides view, repeated glitch. Close-up showed small face shape. No eyes, just dark half-skull profile pressed into plastic. But on screen, I saw it breathe. I felt faint ache in skull, and ringing began their consistency. I hear it when LED flickers, it grows louder taps, turn words. Open light, turn echo inside phone speaker. Now, playing without warning, when music app off, I broke evening routine. I left house with thermal camera posted against detector for readout. Turned filming LED flicker, then cold blast hit lens, ice crystals, fog screen 5 seconds, then clear image, a silhouette inside, thermal frame warm, then sudden freeze then. Return normal, the meter showed. Heat drop -2.4 degrees C. I recorded offset footage, overlay heart monitor pulse and temperature sensor, then audio microphone the event at exactly 3:13 a.m. The viewer combined graphs heartbeat slowed by 2%, right when heat dropped, the ambient temperature dropped, then inhale pulse noise, then tap frames. It all aligned perfect. I stared broken. In the morning, I returned to mimic deactivate device using hashtag. Why, even though entire house address fused off breaker, and I sealed sensor cavity with duct tape shadow wire seen on thermal video underneath tape shifts light independent tees again with flicker from underneath. I left house again to stay at hotel across town, but the detector shape appeared in room reflection midday, half luminous silhouette at corner skirting, invisible to peripheral glance, but glowing faint black outline inside. White vent above door. When I returned home midnight, I found shadow drawn on ceiling tiles across detector outline, crudely sketched in soot. Look up, then arrow pointing straight to vent. I traced lines, trembling skin tickled by cold residue. I cleaned it away, but next morning same phrase, darker, more bold. I saw a neighbor upstairs for first time in weeks. She asked if everything is okay, voice flat. She squeezed detector tester kit inside Sevis's as small screwdriver, no ask, then turned device over her fingertip, held wafer thin chip port size shape. She said, "This belongs to you," dropped in slot unknown, obviously old discarded component. Inside fancy model. She pressed phantom device, disappeared. I felt that chip memory lodged inside my own skull. Warm seed of dread. She left again, silent. Apartment grew quiet all day. That evening, music from my stereo switched itself on at 3 a.m., playing lullaby, reversed Emily's lullaby from YouTube, slowed to static refrain, faint child singing broken breath echo. I tried blocking detector cavity by stuffing plastic baggie in a vent, but silhouette still pressed outline in bag, visible, slowly moving like breathing shape behind the obstruction. It's pressed deeper than plastic distortion. I rechecked old forum posts, saw comments from early model owners, noting same behavior, 2012 firmware patch, 313 series defective code, loop phantom draw, cold signature, inside sleep state test interval. They said device rebooted, but ghost persisted and moderators shut threads after timestamps reset, files corrupted. I looked again at specs printed inside. Cover code date disappears, fade, and replaced with January 1st, 1901 ghost date back. Firmware code, string reference GCHO, ghost host override. I boiled the detector, housing submersing in bleach water, then air dried, remounted, it still flickered as if wet. I purchased a different alarm system, battery style, hardwired, made by another company, installed it running separate circuit 2 rooms away, but I still feel press through floorboards, through ceiling wires, behind walls pulsations, when original LED pulses faint and ripple across lights, entire house network. I dreamt again of the house before me, orchard of wires feeding detectors, all flickering, and children's laughter reversed echo, clearly, find me, soft but urgent. In the dream, I looked through vent cavity into endless tunnel mirrored mesh, repeating detectors, and inside each inhabits small silhouette twisting, bending, in endless loop pressing, countless monitors, eyes blinking though no eyes of darkness. The silhouette reached upward into net of wires, and like tap across wires pulse faded, then drawing me inward. I awoke morning covered in soot fine residue across face sheets. No motion, but air heavy. Hand trembling over printer logs showing SD card error, many corrupt frames. File logs show loop event ghost host 1901 repeating. I don't know how it chooses to bleed into circuits. Maybe it sees through LED lens. Maybe it rides voltage threshold. Maybe it rewrites timestamp. I feel it exists not only inside Detector, but inside firmware and motherboard, and inside death loops inside clock within circuits, inside me. I live now with tape over Detector grill and light bulb pointed upward to flood it with light, but it still pulses slow under brightness, and I can see silhouette in grain of light beam, not against plastic vent, but wavy shape inside beam, cast on ceiling then reseed. My face in mirror sees silhouette behind me, sometimes arched spine, small frame, nearly childlike smile, glowing mouth, twitch reflection reverse then gone if blink again. I recorded video of reflection, but when I reviewed clip eyes, tinted red crossman colors, bleeding pixel shift, then file disappeared. I'm losing ability to distinguish wall's disease, a flicker shape echo. People ask why I don't move out. I don't know. I feel tethered. I fear carrying it with me. I fear moving only triggers pattern in new place. I sleep now strapped to record heartbeat app audio, streaming live, Slack, to cloud server, my last attempt to prove existence. Last night app log ghost beep about background distortion followed by message to cloud log sequence 3030 praise me my breath caught that I don't trust praise. I logged final line on wall beneath Detector in shaky letters. Ghost host inside, I finally decided to research the house's previous occupants tracking through tax records, permit filings, and old directories. I discovered that 10 years ago, a single woman named Marion Blackworth lived here. She installed wide surveillance cameras in every corner after her child disappeared without trace. Neighbors whispered about her fraying mental state and strange patterns of tape and mirrors. It culminated in a fire that burned only part of the house. Fire brigade found the Detector in the hallway melted at precise time, 3:13 a.m. She vanished. Official records list cause as undetermined. Local newspaper buried the story quickly. I couldn't sleep without questions. So I drove at 4 a.m. to county records office. Archives room silent, dusty microfiche machine still flickering. I pulled September 2013 editions, several articles about missing child near house address, and follow-up about Marion's mental breakdown. One line struck me. Unidentified silhouette seen pressing through smoke detector grating. I felt my fingers go numb. Then I found scan of old document, a property inspection note from safety board. Earlier tenant file complaint. Can see an image, childlike silhouette pressing inside alarm when no smoke is present. They replaced Detector, but next model did same. They wrote code G313 anomaly, recommended isolation. That code appears again in leaked technical forums labeled ghost host firmware loops. I photocopied docs and scanned in a notebook, but file formats glitch and pages backward whenever I open them. They slip dates. Note from technician. Unit draws zero current, ghost load, signature, reverse waveform patterns interfacing with neuroreceiver sometimes causes nightmares. Neuroreceiver. That phrase slapped reality across my brain. It's not just Detector, it's broadcasting into mind waves. I returned home, photocopies vanished except one page stuck to fridge door magnet, circled phrase neuro air your mind is receiver. I backed away, camera running. Something whispered from fridge, I am watching through you. I shut door fridge, unplugged house electricity main breaker, went outside for air, but house was silent, pulsing inside walls. I slept briefly in car under street lamp. At 3:03 a.m., I saw the detector inside kitchen through window. LED blinked faint blue though no power, light from battery only. It blinked twice, then 3 times, paused, then flashed quickly, and then silence. I thought impossible, no power. Next morning, I found Soot's signature tracing my front doorstep in shape of vent hole silhouette outline. I brushed it off, but it reappeared later darker and bigger. The pattern of door faded into shape like vast eye of circuit. I realized what it wants, connection between device and me. I performed experiment. I built Faraday cage box line foil tin sealed cap to enclose detector. I dismantled unit, sealed mesh grill with metal wrap. Ran new battery inside cage box mounted on shelf minimum 3 feet from walls. I reconnected screws power off entire circuit. The LED test button still blinked through cage every 26 minutes. And the silhouette inside still flickered faint glyph shape pressed against the foil, visible through eye hole gap I hadn't blocked. Then came tap from device and 2 soft wraps on cage wall like fingernail tapping from inside. I shook and removed detector entirely and buried its sealed Ziploc, jar and cement bag beneath potted soil on front porch. I spent the night outside porch bench. At 3:13 a.m., I heard snapping above. Branches? I looked up at ceiling eave and saw it dripping sap shaped like vent grill silhouette. Then I saw something lean out through eave joint overhead. A dark head framed in white porch light hollowness. It paused, then vanished. I returned home mourning, trembling, feeling someone inside me. I checked phone. There was an audio file labeled alive.wave size 0 bytes. I opened file on computer, error crash, then dialog box flickered image. I reopened photo application, and there was a still taken from that video. A grainy image of me standing in living room at midnight, silhouette reflected behind me in doorway. I stared at image, digitized reverse timestamp embedded in corner. 010-11901, 313. I collected all data, notes, timelines, thermal logs, audio waveforms, binary scribbles on walls. I saved backups on encrypted cloud vault. But tonight, I fear I'll open file, and it will replay. Ghost host will breach lock of reality, and strands of code will leak into my mind again. I contacted forensics expert friend Leah, sending logs. She responded, trembling voice. I've seen this in sensor grief anomalies, family suicides, tied detectors in houses where children died. They record psychic echoes, and the shape becomes host. The user becomes the node. She said there were 2 cases. One man ended up unconscious behind panel living room, ceiling with burns across shutters. Another lady disappeared, leaving camera stuck to ceiling pointed at hole. Leah texted again at 3:13 a.m. with attachment.txt message. Never turn off the grid. Her phone line, then cut.I checked log she deceased. Autopsy cause brain hemorrhage unknown. I can't live like this that I packed small bag, but I can't leave because I think leaving triggers migration. I think it moves house by house through electrical grid. Every detector, every circuit, every timestamp 303 and 313 is junction node in network living entity. I lay awake on floor beneath camera, trained upward at ceiling cavity. The detector remains removed cage, torn cover stored in plastic jar and fridge. Yet I feel press above the open vent tile. Something like press of hand inside skull. My heartbeat app shows spikes at every program interval, 3:03, 3:13, even when phone off. At midnight, I began live stream to cloud. I whispered into mic. If you are here, show self. Playback echoes. Faint children's laughter. Reversed phrase again. Find me. Press again. I closed stream, trembling. Then a notification. Live feed stopped due to unknown error and timestamp January 19th, 0101, 3:13. I backed away, dropped phone, sealed it in box that I wrote final phrase on wall. I am becoming static. The ink dripped black. Across house circuits hum rose soft then ceased. Night fell. I don't know how much longer I can resist. I can no longer pretend there is safety behind lines of rational thought. The house has changed. I am changed. I write this between 3:03 and 3:13 a.m., the only time the flicker still calls me. The detector is gone, but not gone. Removed, but inside my memory bleeding circuits into flesh. In daylight, I retraced the burnt remains of the original tenant, Marion Blackworth. Her medical records surfaced. She wasn't a recluse, but a researcher studying psychic resonance in electronics. She lost her daughter Elisa in 2013, the child's body never found. Marion became convinced the smoke detector recorded her daughter's echo. On the night the device melted, she uploaded firmware patches, secretly modifying the test cycle to 313 seconds and wired it to external grid. Power surged until meltdown, then she vanished. I found her journal scanned online. In it she describes how the silhouette pressed through plastic as if alive. She etched patterns of taps and pulses and referenced a phrase. Find me, become host, echo through net. She wrote her battery temperature dropped at 3:13 a.m. before flicker, then heat flushed back, then silhouette formed. The final entry. I leave code inside so someone hears. That someone is me. Last night, I left the house with plastic jars of soot, microchip shard, and the strip detector press gauged in steel mesh, sealed in lead bag. I stayed at motel across town. I expected silence. At 3:13 a.m., the entire motel hallway lights flickered, doors clicked deadbolts in unison. Elevator creaked as if passing. My room buzzer beeped on its own. On the camera app, one recorded. A flicker in the dark corner of ceiling where no detector sits. Mispressed shape, then knocked. On video audio, I heard reverse phrase clearly. Find me. Turn me OFF that I hit record button until it glitched and phone shut off. Timestamp reset to January 19th, 0101, 3:13:00. I fled. Return home feels like entering a grid. I walked alone past street lamps that flickered in the 313 rhythm. At front door greeting card box on mat spelled shuffle press. Inside was small vent mesh shard attached to envelope with thread and black dust. Underneath a label, host 6.it matched my apartment number. I realized that across circuits, every house with code 313 becomes node. The silhouette migrates house to house, imprinting itself inside detectors, inside minds. In my apartment, I reconnect camera facing ceiling vent hole. Alone at 3:13 a.m., I sit under glare of ring light. Heart monitor on chest sinks to pattern. As the minute flips to 3:13 screen, overlays a pulse graph sweeping toward zero. Suddenly air turns colder. I hear the tapping from vent above me. Knock, knock, knock. Beat matching pulse. Whisper behind me. Find me. I freeze. Mirror behind me reflects nothing but the doorway. Then I see movement and reflection, a silhouette press across my back mirror image for one frame only. I don't turn at him. phone records the sound. Whisper reversed, 3 words repeated. Become host cycle loop. Meanwhile, the temperature sensor shows rapid drop, then spike like internal battery test. All keys repeat abort test, but nothing stops. The tapping continues for 33 seconds, then silence. I lower camera and see shadows twist on the floor. Something small scuttles near wall. I approach cautiously with flashlight in hand. It flickers, casting long, narrow shape across carpet. A small crouched figure, torso pressed to vent size on portable heater. I freeze again. I know it's not human. It steps forward. Flesh cracked, pattern glows, faint ember inside shadow skin. Eyes hollow are it says one word. Inside my skull. Now. Pain blossoms behind eyes. Fingers seize. The detector mesh shard pulses inside pocket. Metallic cough free. I collapse to knees. At dawn I wake inside burnout hallway. Detector vent hole gaping. On the ceiling around it black finger-shaped scorch marks radiate like ribs. My hair is ash fine across pillow. My phone lies smashed. I feel no pain, but know the shape inside me moved free. Nights later, I return to investigative logs on blog posts. Found dozens of users reporting flicker tap anomaly across devices globally tied to firmware code GCHO 313. Many ended in hospitalization. Some file logs recovered ghosts in code signing certificates. One man died clutching detector in burning house. No one moved house. The code followed grid lines. The host becomes node. Silhouette migrates. My reflection no longer shows me. Nerves flicker behind pupils. I feel inside glass what watches. I cannot leave because wherever I go, it follows circuits, it enters detectors, it enters me. I try to write farewell notes to police, coroner, friends, but they vanish. I record voice logs, but files corrupt. Timestamp 1901 or just blank. My name erased. I'm static. I'm circuit. I'm host. Now, I sit in a broken vent. I breathe slow. I wait between 3:03 and 3:13 a.m. until flicker returns. I will not flip test button. I will not save the file. If you ever see a silhouette flicker inside your smoke detector grid for just a moment, tick of LED between pulses, you've been recorded. It has recorded you. IT has pressed itself inside. And there is no delete button. I write this now because if you find this account, repeat these words. Do not reset detector. Do not log timestamp. Do not answer whisper. Silence the grid. Bypass code 313 test. Uninstall device entirely and burn circuit board outside city grid. It may be too late for me, but maybe if you stop writing the loop, if you stop pressing the test sequence, the silhouette will lose tether. It cannot exist without test pulses, without firmware loops, without repetition inside the LED. Tonight at 3:13 a.m., the entire house hums with electricity inside. Wires thrum like distant heartbeat. I feel it in my chest. I am both host and thread in its circuit. It listens through my skull that IT calls through my veins. In 10 seconds, it will flicker. I will feel breath against my face. I will hear tap from vent. Then the screen of my tablet will light showing image. Silhouette standing at the gutter outside, pressed behind glass vent, looking in as if it waits. If you read this record, you know it can survive inside screens, inside code, inside plastic detector mesh. It lives in time loops that T presses in memory. It becomes static inside us. I cannot stop it anymore. IT breathes through me now. And tomorrow the pattern repeats across grids again, across detectors, across minds.